place. At the same moment, Nicolás Maduro addressed his supporters, saying the recent blackout was an act.
Tonight we're going to look at some recorded news footage of the president of Venezuela, Maduro. And I'm going to play the footage in slow motion. There's some hologram breaks, I believe, and there's some really strange images that show up. The footage looks so blurry on slow motion, which you'll see, but actually when I play it here it won't look that bad, but there will be some hologram like blinks as they walk through. Slow motion. Okay. Something I'd like to point out in the footage is like this guy back here has all these what I think look like eyes all over him. I believe he's having a hologram issue there, and he seems to be the only one here that's doing that, although they all do it. Then you also see it here. And I see this type of thing covering the picture. Let me show you real quick. So here I believe that they're all shifting. I don't believe that any of these people are human. And when we go in, we do see all of these things on the screen. But in some images, they appear as creatures or eyes. It's like they're mixed in. You can see here, I think this is a good picture of what he really looks like. This is Maduro. Even though it's pixelated, I still think it's coming out. But I think that these creatures blend in, like he's got these around his neck. So let's move on. Now here, this guy's going to come out from behind him, and they're both going to shift. I'll play through it. And he doesn't look human either, the guy behind him. There's the shift. And what I noticed in this, even though there seems to be a lot of interference with it, I still think that they want it that way. This image here, next to his face, looks to me almost like a monster face. The mouth and the eye, like it's an image of him. Just hope that's gonna come out good. And then this other thing, let's look at that. This one here, this image of this. This looks like one being, and this looks like a hologram. This looks like a demon, and so does this also. Let's go in on it as much as I can. And the other thing too, in this image, look at it. This right here looks like a snake. Maybe possibly another creature in there. Try to go in on it. Getting interference with this white shirt. Okay. And the other thing too is all this green. You know, the green is just ridiculous. This is the second shift. Take a look at this guy back here first. You can see how it looks like two separate entities, or one entity with a hologram side and the other side exposed. This one also. Then on Maduro, he looks like he's got something hanging on his head. And I think that it would be snakes. That seems to be what they're all about. Reptiles, frogs. Now let's move over to him. I think this is a pretty bizarre image. Looks pretty creepy. And it seems like this image here, he has a slit pupil possibly. And you can see these things in here. And I think in some instances it's not just something in the film. I think it's something else. And why does he have green around his neck? And this part we saw, there's this guy over here, and this just looks so bizarre to me. You can see his eyes. This looks like a swarm of snake or frog-like creatures. And if you want to think that it's just poor footage, that's your prerogative. Try to go in on that a little better. You know, I could never even make this up, and it's bizarre. You would think you'd find that in a science fiction movie. So here is during a shift. Let's just take a look at his eyes. You can see them. And then this guy next to him. I think that all of this just looks so bizarre. I don't know. I'm doing a research video. So I'm going to let's do a frame here. And what is this? You know, I mean, that really looks like a creature. This is another example of it looking like something else. This here. This here. Sorry for the interference. And look at his face. I mean, why is he all green? Yeah, look at that. And this guy's hand, it's outlined in black. Almost looks, it's got texture to the edges. And this guy here looks like a frog face. Thank you for watching. Please leave a comment. God bless you.
Addressed his supporters, saying the recent blackout was an act of sabotage by the US.